Crimil'S Daggers. What rolls do you want, and is it going to be better than Igneous? Well, to start off, it's in the kinetic slot, so it plays a completely different game than Igneous is going to play, but comparing the stats, it does lose to Igneous Hammer significantly in the stability, the handling, and the reload speed department. Now, I am looking at this with both of these weapons having a range masterwork, fluted barrel, and Igneous Hammer having ricochet rounds, Crimil'S Dagger having accurize. The big difference is Igneous will also have access to a 10 stat boost to any slot. So let's go ahead and jump into the perks. The big perk that everyone's talking about is Precision Instrument. Precision Instrument will allow you to two-head, one-body Most Resilient Guardians on Igneous Hammer, and with Crimil'S Dagger, it's just that much better because you can enhance the new Iron Banner weapons. Igneous, because it was rotated out, will not be enhanceable, but Crimil'S Dagger is, making it better when it comes to Precision Instrument. So if all you care about is Precision Instrument, there you go. Crimil'S Dagger is better when it comes to Precision Instrument. And you can see here that I have an enhanced slideways being used on Crimil'S Dagger against Igneous Hammer. I forgot to turn Igneous Hammer on with Rapid Hit, so pretty much all this stays the same. They're both comparable in range, and it's gonna beat Crimil'S Dagger in terms of stability with Rapid Hit, but the handling is going to go to Crimil'S Dagger because of Slideways. Slideways, I know, isn't the greatest perk because people want Slide Shot because it boosts your range and it lasts longer and it's faster to activate. I understand all that, but at the same time, Slideways on a weapon like this works just as good, and I want to explain why. Enhanced Slideways is going to last for 3 seconds, and it's going to give you 25 stability and 25 handling. It's also going to reload 15% of your magazine, whereas Slide Shot, when enhanced, is going to also reload 15% of your magazine. It lasts for 2.5 seconds, and it gives you 25 range and stability. So this thing doesn't need more range. It's fine where it is. What it needs is handling, so it works out perfectly. The big problem to Slideways is the fact that you can't just reactivate it like you can Slide Shot. So that basically means you're just unable to constantly reload the weapon by sliding, like you can with Slide Shot, but you're still going to have the permanent 25% stability and handling for those 3 seconds. And that's really the best perk in this first column. You can look at the rest of the perks. I think Outlaw is a pretty good perk because the reload on this thing is absolutely atrocious. I think Moving Target is a pretty good bonus just to get plus 10 aim assist when aiming down sights. Seems pretty good to me. Strategist, that's a pass for me. Air Trigger is pretty good because they just buffed it, I guess you would say, to make the target acquisition not quite as bad. So when you're in the air and you jump to reload, it's much better, but I mean, I wouldn't be using a 120 in the air anyway, so Air Trigger is really not that bad. Enlightened Action is also here, and you can almost get max handling with max stacks, but I don't really ever see myself being able to land that many shots and stay alive. With that being said, I think Slideways is going to be your best option in that first column, and then in that final column, we're looking at Kill Clip, which is not what it used to be. It'll allow you to 2-headshot 5 and lower Resilience Guardians, and then 2-head 1-body any Resilience Guardians, or 1-head 2-body 9 to 6. And then you have Explosive Payload, which is not really the best perk anymore. I don't really particularly enjoy that. And then you have Zen Moment, which is really good. It's going to remove all that flinch. You have Opening Shot. That's going to give you that extra range that you're losing out. It's going to make you hit max range. I don't think you need all that range. And if you do go Opening Shot, you're not going to need either Accurized or your range masterwork. So you can go handling, or you can switch out your magazine for something else if you would like. I think the best perk is going to be either Adagio or Precision Instrument, because Adagio is going to make it to where you can 2 crit 9 and lower Resilience Guardians for a TTK of 0.6. Tier 10 is going to lower your TTK. It's going to take your TTK from a 1 second TTK to a 1.2 second with Adagio. So on Titans, it's going to kind of suck. Admittedly, it does suck, and again, Adagio is going to give you an extra 10 range, so it does help with that, but it's not helping with your TTK on Titans pretty much, which is the biggest concern there. And then Precision Instrument is going to make it a pretty easy cleanup for those 2-head 1-body on any Resilience Guardians, and you can pretty much do that with Precision Instrument times 1, and it works out pretty well, especially whenever it's enhanced. Whenever it's not enhanced, there's a chance that you do not, which is unfortunate. And to the biggest problem with this weapon, I think, is the feel. It doesn't feel great to me. It doesn't feel as sticky as Igneous Hammer does, which I don't know why that is exactly, which is really unfortunate because I really wanted to love this thing. I don't hate it. I do like it. I just don't think it's nearly as good as Igneous in terms of the stats. The perks are, I would say, Slideways isn't that bad. I know a lot of people are going to hate on Slideways. I don't think it's that bad. Precision Instrument, pretty good. Adagio, I can't proc Adagio and get kills with it because I just panic because I'm like, oh, I have the perk up, let me get a kill with it, and then I just throw for the next 10 seconds. But if you can use Adagio on combined action, you can definitely use it on this thing. And I think this is probably the closest thing we'll get to a weapon that can compete with Igneous Hammer in the kinetic slot. And I think the only other big weapon that they could kind of put in that slot that could possibly take down Igneous would be the Steady Hand, but even that has pretty poor stats, and they would have to buff it significantly for it to be able to hold its own against Igneous Hammer. And that's pretty much it from me. If you wanted to know if it's better than Igneous, base stats, no. With Slideways, I think it's better, or at least comparable, and it's definitely better with Precision Instrument. The weapon doesn't feel nearly as good as Igneous Hammer, although I don't think that Crimil'S Dagger necessarily feels bad, just not nearly as good. I would say Igneous Hammer feels like an S tier weapon, performs like an S tier weapon, has S tier stats, and S tier perks, whereas Crimil'S Dagger has probably A tier perks, because I know a lot of people aren't going to like Slideways, has B tier stats, probably a C tier fill, and probably performs like an A tier weapon. I definitely think that if you need a 120 in that slot so you can run something different in your energy slot, Crimil'S Dagger is definitely the way to go. I don't think there's ever been a different option. I know True Prophet or True Prophecy used to be a really good hand cannon. Steady Hand used to be a really good hand cannon. I still have both of those with really good rolls, but nothing is going to compare to this enhanced Crimil'S Dagger. It feels pretty good. Again, not to the level of Igneous, but it still feels good. It does take some getting used to. I know a lot of this footage, I hadn't been used to using hand cannons because it's been Kvostov for the past like 3 weeks. So using this was refreshing. It was nice. It did take me a while to get in the swing of things, as you can probably tell by some of the gameplay footage. But the last thing I want to point out about Crimil'S Dagger is the fact that if you have Facet of Solitude, I believe his name should be on the screen, you can 3-tap someone in the head and go invis as a hunter if you have Stylus Executioner equipped. I didn't tell you guys that though. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, sub, and I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that video may be.